Welcome, everybody. Thank you for jumping back on. Wait a few more minutes until everyone's sort of arrived.
I might get everyone that joined using the link I sent through 20 minutes ago. If you hover over yourself on your screen and press the three little dots that pop up, there'll be an option for you to rename yourself. It's just that I use Tegan's link to get in.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or come in as Tegan Buckley.
I thought that was an error on my end. I'm like, hello, all these Tegans.
No, so if you if you could rename yourselves, that would be great.
I thought it was something that was happening on my end, so.
Just to go over that again, if you use the link that I sent through 15 minutes ago, which is great because you've all easily got in, you have come in under the name Tegan Buckley because it was Tegan's link. There, if you press the three little dots when you hover over yourself, you should be able to have the option to rename. The three dots are in the top right-hand corner of your little square. And if you can't, that's all right. We'll
just have a heap of Tegans on the call.
Just have a heap of Tegans, and that's fine. I reckon the attendees coming in have started to slow down, so you could probably get going.
Cool. We'll kick off. Excellent. Well, welcome back, everybody. If you weren't here last night, that's all good. We've actually got a recording, so you should have received that through email, and you'll also get another one tomorrow as well. So we covered a fair bit last night. I'm just going to recap for anyone who wasn't with us. So we looked at what you need to consider to up-level marketing in your business. So that's developing a results-driven, farmer-centric marketing strategy and understanding some of the core marketing and sales fundamentals to help you be a magnet for your ideal customer. We talked about the three reasons why people do business with you. So that was trusting the product and what your genetics have to offer, trusting you as a seller and your company. We also looked at sales mindset, marketing, your customer buying journey and that process, brand exposure elements to help attract new customers while also retaining existing ones, marketing mindset and how tall poppy culture in Australia is hindering our ability to fully show up with confidence and authenticity. We also looked at the 5 keys to magnetic messaging and communication channels. Now, I did fly through last night and I did not give you an opportunity to really map out those 5 keys to magnetic messaging. If you are feeling like you need some more coaching, feel free to yell out. I'm happy to jump on a one-to-one call with you to help you map that out a little bit better. Now, there were a couple of really good questions last night that I'm just going to recap over a little bit better because I have some screenshots to come back with a bit more enlightenment. So the first one was, how do we gauge the effectiveness of marketing on different platforms to see what brings in clients and what does not? And the second one was, what is the key data that we need to be collecting and monitoring around our marketing programs? So firstly, when you've got new clients that buy from you, whether that be online, if you're selling through Auctions Plus, or if they buy at your sale or through an agent, it's super important that you can get their details and conduct a good post-sale follow-up call. And some of the questions might be around looking into what their key breeding objectives are, what challenges they've experienced in the past. And I love this one. If you could wave a magic wand and have the perfect ram for your business sitting in the paddock, what would that look like? And also ask them, how did you hear about us? That one's really good because it can help gauge where your new leads and your new clients are coming from. And it can open some doors to some really good research around your ideal client. We did touch on that briefly. It was the second key factor in really understanding who your ideal client is. In terms of the metrics to look at, I mentioned that you're wanting to watch a lot of your individual post reach organically and paid. So this is a bit of a screenshot from behind the scenes in a Facebook Insights tab in the back end of Facebook. There's not a lot of data here that you can see, but I just wanted to bring this up because it's a really great opportunity for you to have a look at who your audience is. It's not going to tell you names or email addresses, so it's not that easy, but you will get some information like your demographics, age, location, and what they're looking at on your page. You can look at what posts that you've published on social media that are the most effective. So yeah, that's a really great opportunity. And also you can have a look at your videos if you're publishing any videos. And what we're really trying to do is capture the attention of your audience. The first 8 seconds are super important. We're going to touch more on how to hook people in with some really good, captivating copy and scripting. And I've got some templates for you to follow. So yeah, the drone footage obviously works a real treat as well for videos right at the start, just to sort of set the scene. This is just a quick screenshot from the back end of my website. I'm just showing you just real basic data here. But if you can get your website analytics set up, you can watch what people are doing on your website, because we're wanting to get people off of social media onto your website to eventually get in touch with you. Number one sort of goal is to get their contact details, because if social media goes poof and disappears, at least you own your data and your email list. So we want to make sure your website is really user-friendly and allows enough opportunity for people to submit their details, get in touch with you, sign up to a mailing list. You can also look at where people are coming in from, and some analytics can show you the location and how they actually entered your site. So you can see here that this little bit of a graphic here shows Facebook, direct, Google, Twitter, Linktree, LinkedIn, email marketing. So I was running a Facebook ad campaign and 174 came in through Facebook. And then direct link means they typed in malleemark.com.au, Google, they probably typed something and my page came up, and Twitter and so on. Linktree is essentially an app that I use for Instagram. It's the link in the bio, and it just has all of the important links in that app. So yeah, that's just a few examples, and I hope that that really demonstrates and illustrates those couple of questions that I didn't answer very well last night a little bit better. So this webinar is being recorded. We're going to do some Q&A at the end. So please save your questions from then. And I'm getting a little bit confused who's who in the chat. So sorry about the name change, guys. Just tell me who your name is as you ask a question so I can at least refer to you. I will check on these as we go. So for those who were with us last night, how's everyone going? How did you go with this statement here? This was a very, I'm hoping it was a simple template for you to follow. If you're just joining us tonight, there was an exercise last night in the webinar where we used some key factors to generate a bit of a clear, unique value proposition statement so that you can refer back to this and use this in any marketing. Just quickly, and I probably didn't say this last night, you don't have to follow this template to a T. You can adjust and create your own words. It was just to make sure you get those elements of having, of making sure that you address the ideal client, what their issues and frustrations are, what their objectives are and what your unique point of difference is. So feel free to pop them in the chat if you would like me to have a look at them. And I'm happy to, if you're brave enough, I'm happy to have a look and let you know, what I think, but we won't spend too much time on this because we do have a fair bit to go through. So while you do that, I'm just going to tap into a couple of concepts first, and then I'll come back to looking at your statements in the chat. So content mapping, we did talk a bit about content marketing last night, and we're going to continue with that tonight as well. So content mapping is essentially a plan that addresses your ideal buyer, so your ideal client, at various different stages of that buyer's journey. Here's a quick recap of the buyer's journey. I don't know if I've actually got a slide here, but it was on page, can't remember. There we go, page 2 in your workbook. So essentially within each piece, the content map is designed to meet the buyer at different points of their journey with the ultimate goal of pulling them out the freezer, defrosting them and nurturing them through to make a decision at the end. And it's gaining those trust in the 3 areas: your product, you as a seller, and your company. So we really want to build trust around those 3 factors. So here was that real basic funnel that we talked about, the awareness, consideration, and decision stages for anyone who's just joining us tonight: cold audiences, warm audiences, and hot audiences. So the kind of content that gets the best return on investment and energy and time is profitable content. And it generally is content that is educational, entertaining, and informative or inspiring. And these content types are really quite typical because brands are able to generate some conversations and hopefully new leads as a result. Before we move on into content pillars, if anyone would like to chuck down your statements in the chat box, I can look at them. I don't see any at the moment. So here we go. One has come through. Dale, we help composite and crossbred producers struggling with low wool value and increasing wool related costs to increase their profitability because we believe Red Bank FX fine cross genetics can deliver a complete performance package without compromising production. Nice. That's awesome. Well done. I don't think I could come back with any other suggestions there. That's fantastic. Lauren, we help prime lamb producers struggling with sourcing effective, commercially relevant genetics to achieve maximum kilos of lamb weaned per hectare, because we believe top quality genetics should be accessible, good value, and produced with a commercial focus. Perfect. How does that feel now, having a couple of those statements? Is it going to be a little bit easier for you to add to your marketing material? Awesome. Cool. All right. So let's move on to content pillars. This is how we organize your profitable content. So we want to categorize some of the main topics that relate to your brand and your genetics into some systemizable and scalable communications. And through this strategy, I just want to help you stop creating random marketing content that doesn't engage with your target audience so that you can save a heap of time, energy, money, resources through following a clear and concise strategic plan. How does that sound? I think we all want a bit of that. So once we've built that strategic content marketing framework, we should be able to use this in a process and a system. So systems and processes in business and especially marketing is really important, because then we can drive a lot more loyalty with customers and we can also reach a lot more people that are more targeted. And as you saw, we get really, really specific around who it is we're actually speaking to, which is going to hit the mark a lot better. So we're going to be producing some high quality content that's closely related to those 5 key factors last night. We're going to refer to them as we go. But for now, let's jump into the clear roadmap and bear with me as I unpack some of this stuff. So page 6 of your workbook, I have some prompts for you under each stage of the customer journey. Now, there are some questions here that you're going to see, and you might not have time to answer these. So feel free to spend the next few days having a look and unpacking these according to some of the examples that we will map out shortly. So at the top here, we've got pillar 1, and that is for the cold audience. They're the people that aren't really aware of your brand at this point. So how can you help solve certain problems and headaches? What are the common solutions or pain points that they might experience? How can people recognize when they have a problem? What are they, your target audience or ideal client, looking for in terms of your genetics or services in your industry? Pillar 2, what should your ideal buyer consider when they're comparing other genetics products or services? How do you want your people to feel when they interact with your business? That's a huge one. How do you want your potential clients to do business with you? And pillar 3, hot audiences, they're ready for conversion. I would love to see you add a bit more of your mission statement, what you stand for, what's your why, your purpose. And you've already worked on this. There were some really great statements there. So you're already quarter of the way there. There are 7 types of content that we can use on social media. So essentially, these pieces of content are the most effective, but we're only going to focus on 3 tonight just to keep things really simple. And they're the 3 that I've identified as being profitable content. So we've got educational, inspirational, interactive, connecting, promotional, newsworthy, and entertaining. So we're going to focus on these 3 that I've highlighted because I find that they add a ton more value to your ideal target audience in a humble, helpful, genuine way. But you can absolutely use a mix of any of these other content types. For example, anything that's interactive, newsworthy, or entertaining will be quite simple in terms of showing a little bit behind the scenes or anything that's trending in your industry, anything that's entertaining that you can really relate to. They're pretty straightforward. The educational, connecting, and promotional is what we're going to unpack a little bit more. But we want to have a good mix of entertainment, inspiration, and education because a lot of your ideal audience members coming onto social media are there just for a bit of winding down at the end of the day, or, you know, obviously they're open for a bit of marketing and education as well. Really quickly, we've got a massive list here of forms of content. You've probably seen a lot of this, but blogs, online article, how-to, ebooks, emails, webinars, newsletters, videos, infographics, case studies, user-generated content. So user-generated content is grabbing other people's content and resharing, obviously with permission and with credibility around who created that content, but it might be a photo. A client may have sent something through, or they may have posted something and you've asked permission just to reshare it on your page as well. Checklists, memes, testimonials, reviews, there's influencers, paid ad content, podcasting, social media. You got text, image, reels, short video, long video, story. Oh, there's so much content out there. We're going to come back to these soon. I don't want you to feel too overwhelmed that you should be doing everything or at every second of every day. I'm going to show you how you can repurpose content so it's really simple for your brand. But first, let's focus in on problem awareness content. Now, this is explaining why your ideal client is particularly experiencing a symptom in their business. It's designed to correlate that symptom with the deeper underlying cause, which is going to encourage them to move down the funnel a little bit in the buyer's journey. And this is how we attract attention so that your ideal client can really relate to that content and start to see themselves in that and trust you as the expert and authority in that space because you've really spoken to them. And you can see that with a couple of those statements that I just read out before. And I've seen just a couple more come through as well from myself now. Yeah, please put your name if you are putting anything in the chat. Just chuck your name in there so I know who I'm talking to. So let's quickly head back to the buyer's journey here quickly. So you've jotted down some ideas under pillar 1, and there's some prompts there for you. Once you've done that, we're going to then pick one thing to focus on from all of those ideas, and we're going to put it into a little bit of a post like this. And these are just templates. They're very broad. You need to do what you wish with them. This is the opportunity for you to put your own unique spin on it, because you know your business better than anyone else. But I really hope that this will help set you up for some ideas on how to start structuring your content. So problem awareness, step 1 will illuminate the symptoms. Are you experiencing X, Y, Z? Step 2, provide insight into what could be that cause. So it could be due to X, Y, and Z. If you can use some data or explanation proof around this, that would be very helpful, so that it comes from a non-biased opinion as well, if you can. Step 3, optional. So if you do want to add some marketing back into this, you can chuck in something like, in our sale catalog this year, we have X, Y, and Z RAMs who are worth checking out. We always welcome inquiries. Get in touch with, put your name down for a chat. So that's just a little bit of a indirect, this is what we've got. If you don't let people know, how will they know really what you've got on offer? From here, this is a really great opportunity if you're wanting to dive into some more paid advertising. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to pick up what I'm putting down here, because if you've dabbled in Facebook paid ads, then that's great. If not, then that's probably a conversation for outside of this webinar. But essentially, this is a great position to put your lead magnet into a bit of a paid offering around this style of post. So a lead magnet is a marketing tool that's used to attract potential customers by offering something of value in exchange for their contact information. So an example like that could be your sale catalog or something of a high value. You're going to have to put your thinking cap on and use some creativity to really draw and encourage your ideal client to exchange their precious details. So for example, you could have a consultant or a guest presenter talking about a really relevant topic at an open day, and you might want to get people's email address when they register. And then that way you can put them on a mailing list and nurture them further down the funnel. So as I said, and I keep harping on about it, social media is borrowed real estate. If it goes, you need at least an email list or a phone number. It's not going to go anywhere. I really hope, touch wood, I hope that it won't go anywhere, but we can't rely on likes, follows, and comments to pay the bills at the end of the day. So it's all down to really creating marketing that's going to entice your ideal client to hand over their contact details. But how do we know what actually works best? Just keep fishing. Just keep throwing a line out with some bait and wait until you get something. Hopefully it's not a snag or seaweed. But from time to time, you're going to get some nibbles, but keep experimenting with different bait until you get momentum. And I know that a lot of studs are using online platforms. They are constantly experimenting with different content, phrases, calls to action, and angles. So it's just something that is part and parcel with marketing. And try not to feel too overwhelmed. Just put one foot in front of the other and start with some baby steps. So yeah, start to think about a bit of a lead magnet to add some value. And hopefully, if you start to look around at other studs doing maybe not even in the sheep industry, maybe maybe have a look at the beef cattle industry and just start to see what they're doing to help you get some inspiration. In school, they called it cheating when you peeped over at your classmates' work, but in business, it's market research. I love that concept. I learned it at a Farm Owners Academy top producer workshop. Market research is just so underutilized. It's an area that we just probably don't spend enough time doing. So the what content. This is another type of content that you can use. it's going to help the audience connect with you and visualize what the end outcome is. So you can elaborate more on any concepts or jargon that people might not fully understand. So a really good one might be is understanding breeding values or how to read data in your catalogs, consistency in buying the right rams, the right outcome that producer wants. And it really builds on the problem awareness and promotes your expertise, and authority in a helpful, genuine, and valuable way. And when this is done right, it provides a bit more context around your brand and your offering so that that potential client can actually start to learn how these concepts and solutions fit into their own business. But we need to be really consistent with this one so that messaging stays top of mind. That screenshot clearly did not show up. It's page 6 of your workbook. So pillar 2, again, same process. Write down a heap of ideas that you have under these prompts. And hopefully that'll give you a bit of an edge and a bit of a unique, authentic take on this sort of content that's unique to your brand and what you're trying to do. And as you go, just weave in some of your story, some of your marketing and promotion indirectly, just to start to position your brand as I'm here, I'm easy to do business with. This is how you go about it. So the what content example, this is another template. There's a lot of words on this page. Let's work through it together. So are you looking to lift your performance challenge, whatever that issue is? What are they trying to do better? We recommend adding rams with XYZ traits in order to Y. What's their client desired outcome? So Sheep Genetics has a great page on their website to learn more about breeding indexes and values. So that's just a little thing that I chucked in there in case you wanted to look outside as in a third-party resource for your clients, just so they can learn more if they're still a bit blurry on the concept. You could also say something like, we've got an in-depth guide on our website that you can walk through how to fully utilize our 2023 sale catalog data. Put your website link in there. Ensure that there is a pixel on your website to retarget visitors with a lead magnet form. That's something else that's not in the scope of webinar. Feel free to have a chat with me after. You could also say something like, there are also links to view videos of our rams to provide you with the full picture if you've got any questions. So that's a little bit of a hook at the start, maybe a little bit of value, bit of direction, and making it easy for your clients to do business with you. So you can use this as simple text like that, or you can use that as a really good scripting point for a 1-minute video. If you don't feel comfortable talking on video, and a lot of us don't, because it just doesn't feel natural to film yourself, selfie videos, or put your camera on a tripod, it sometimes just doesn't feel natural, and some of us just don't want to do it. You can talk in the background of the video while you're filming something. So you might be filming your rams or your ewes in front of you or something like that. But make sure that you put some captions on the video if you're publishing on social media, because a lot of people these days tend to watch their videos with their audio turned off, unless it's your other half is catching up on socials late into the evening and they accidentally play a video full noise right next to your ear as you're drifting off to sleep. That does happen from time to time. But CapCut is a great app on your mobile. So that's CapCut. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can have a look at that. CapCut is a mobile app. You can edit for free on your mobile, add captions, you can cut, change, whatever you need to do. If you're posting as a reel on Instagram, Instagram does have a captioning option that you can add some captions to. Just check that they are correct. So that's that. So how-to content, this is value-based, short form, gives the audience a tip or ways to help them get a little bit of a micro transformation in what they want. For stud breeders selling rams or supplying feed stock, you're probably looking to create a really good positive feedback loop through sharing or talking about your clients at this point. How did they go from X issue to Y outcome? So we're wanting to really position your client's story as front of center and weave in your mission and your unique value proposition at this point. And the process is the same. So pillar 3, you've already done the work on your statement. Now it's time to go and collect a little bit of information from some of your really good clients. Again, lots of writing. This is another template. You guys will get these in an email tomorrow. I will be sending this out in another handout, so don't stress if you can't write all this down. So here we go. If you are a prime land producer from the Gippsland region, you may know of John Smith, but make sure that you've got permission to share their story. So John runs describe the business, maybe have a look at how many sheep they run, what their rainfall is, what hectares they have acreage. In the year 2020, they were having XYZ issues surrounding whatever it is that they were having a problem with. It wasn't until they insert what shift they had to do to improve the issue, and they were able to then achieve XYZ. So I'm not trying to put any ideas into your head. I think you need to sit down and do this for yourself so that you can come up with your own stories. And I just hope that this will help you sort of prompt you for some thinking and to formulate some words here. You could also say something like, we're incredibly proud of John and what they've been able to achieve. We love nothing more than being able to put your mission statement in. If you'd like to learn more about us at stud name, be sure to visit our website, put your website in or your contact details. So that's just a really basic one, just to help you get started. It's really perfect to help warm up. So from your warm audiences to your hot audience, they're ready to hear some social proof at that point, especially if you're wanting to really jump into a region. If you can profile a client in a certain region that you want to explore and attract more interest from, it could be a really great way to really target someone in that region who is your client already. Obviously in ag, word of mouth referrals, sharing stories, networking is a really great way to provide some evidence and awareness in local regions. How are we going? I'm just going to pause here for a second. Anything at this point? How's everyone tracking along? Cool. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Fiona. All right. Here's a marketing calendar. I know that someone did mention that they would really love to have a bit of a calendar just to support them. So here's a template. First, start by planning out and filling in when your key farm operations are. So it might be shearing, crutching, lambing time, lamb marking, joining, preg scanning, sale season, and work backwards from there so that you know when, where, who, how to promote what you want to be doing. And obviously budgeting is a really great one, just to track all of those expenses and to look at what's most effective. And any deadlines. I know it's really easy to get to a looming deadline and last minute just think, oh my gosh, that wasn't really our best marketing work. So it's really good to have everything out on paper. There's a really basic template in page 7 of your work, but you can just jump on Excel spreadsheet and do something similar to this. Again, I'm going to give you these slides so that you can keep this one on hand. So a lot of you probably lack time, creative brain space and energy to prepare and create marketing content consistently, especially. I'm going to show you a hack that's going to save you a lot of time. Introducing the repurposing content formula. Repurposing content refers to existing content, and we're going to be presenting it in a different format through different channels or platforms. I'm going to give you an example here. This is not something you have to do. I just hope that it will help unpack this concept and you can generate any of your content to be whatever you need it to be, following the structure and strategy that we've been talking about. So yeah, essentially it is writing one big piece of content and repurposing it into 100 bits of bite-sized content. You don't have to create 100 bits of bite-sized content. It was just a really good meme that explains that. So at the top here, pick one topic and then write an article. Sometimes my clients will use a copywriter or a journalist, or they might turn to a really cool, nifty tool called AI, ChatGPT. I do not recommend using this all the time. I still use humans because we get the brand tone, the lingo, the accuracy of the information, and we can really strategically word things in the intended way. So ChatGPT can be a really great tool if you've just got a heap of ideas under this one topic and you want to brain dump them into a document, and it can essentially help you formulate sentences. So yeah, have a look, have a Google, have a look into that and see how that might help you save some time. But we can now turn this article into a news piece on your website. You can submit it as an editorial or a news feature in a local newspaper. Great for keywords if you can add a lot of articles to your website for your SEO optimization. You can also turn this article, depending on what it is, into a really good value adding lead magnet, a downloadable free guide or something like that, where people can submit their email address and you can continue, like I keep saying, nurturing them through that buyer's journey. Or you can, once the article's been written, you can generate it into a video, a long form video. If you want to use YouTube more, you can create a video that is maybe 10 minutes long and you can post that on there. Or if you're into podcasting, not sure how appropriate it is for stud breeders, but if you are into that, audio, you want to interview some clients, you can use the topic of the article to generate some really good angles underneath podcast episodes. Or you can just skip that and create some short videos. But basically, you've got a big, long piece of content. So a big, long video, you can now edit them down into 90 seconds short videos for social media. So we really want quick, punchy, to the point content on social media. You might want to schedule one video a week, for example, and then at least at the start of every month, you can schedule your content each week and you don't have to scramble to think, oh my gosh, I didn't post on social media this week. My algorithm stuff, my people think they probably don't care about me. At least then you've got all of this content and you've bulk created it, and now it's all scheduled out. If you want to go one step further and add a little bit more, you can start to take from these little individual videos, you can grab direct quotes. So you can create 1 to 3 direct quotes and publish them as just text sort of tiles, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of squeezing of the lemon with that one article up here to then generate all of this. It's pretty full on. If you can just do a video, a couple of videos a month, I think that's pretty good. So that in a nutshell, for example, I might have 12 key topics. I'm going to pick one key theme per month. I'm going to pick one type. So it might be problem awareness. I'm going to illuminate some symptoms and really demonstrate and communicate what's happening to my client. I'm going to make sure it aligns with the 5 key factors. So I'm really, really aligning with that, brainstorming that from the 3 pillars, so through the buyer's journey. And then I'm going to create that using, the content types that I've just mentioned. So back to the 5 key factors, we're looking at your product, the features and benefits. If you weren't here last night, there is a lot on this in the last webinar recording. But we're looking at your product, your ideal client, their struggles, frustrations, their objectives, their goals, and your unique value proposition statement. So that's just that quick overview. And that's the start. That's step 1 of your content plan is to bring it all together now. So we've got these 5 key factors, and we've got the statement. So that's sort of your referral, that's your playbook. And now we want to work out what communication channels do we want to use to attract your ideal clients. So pick 3 that you want to focus on. It might be for social media, you might want to focus on the channels that you know there's a lot of your ideal clients and a lot of your clients using. For me, it would be Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're wanting to go after more corporates, try LinkedIn. Whatever you're doing, just try to be consistent and just pick your top 3. You also might want to, of course, use email marketing and the good old-fashioned phone call as a communication channel to chat with your existing clients. But to attract them, pick your top 3 that you know you can do really well. And that's obviously I'm biased towards social media, so feel free to do your own research on that. You know your customer better than anyone else. So now we've got your content plan. So the next step that you're going to do, like I've mentioned, I would like to see you jot down a heap of ideas when you read these questions under each pillar. So you might read, how can you help solve certain problems and headaches? And then jot down all of the things that first come up in your mind when you think about that. So do that exercise next and make sure you keep some of those ideas handy because you're going to need to use it to come up with some of your content. How often will you publish content through your key channels? This is a really quick example here. I really recommend posting at least once a week, 1 to 3 times a week. And a newsletter, try to have an email newsletter go out every quarter, or maybe just once a month if you're really wanting to ramp things up. But it really just depends on how much you want to create content. I think a quarterly newsletter would probably be plenty. You can use all of the content you've posted on social media for that quarter to compile into your newsletter. MailChimp's a really great free tool, and you can have templates in there that you can refer to and easily use again and again. You can mix up your content types each week and rotate them to meet the needs of your strategy. So here we've got week 1. We're going to look at your cold audience. So we're going to create a problem awareness. It's going to be on Facebook and Instagram. This is just an example. Next pillar, the next week, we're going to work on a what piece of content, and it's going to be a website article. Once it's published on your website, you're going to promote that to your social media audience. The third week could be a how-to piece, and that's might go out in your mailing list to your email. It might be in a newsletter, and you might promote that you've just sent an email out to your mailing list. So, hey guys, if you want to be on the mailing list, jump onto our website because we've got a really good article about this. Week 4 could be another how-to content piece, and you might have an open day or something coming up, and you're wanting to mail out a flyer, QR code to register on your website, or you might be promoting that through your social media as well. So that's just a really basic plan, just to help give you a little bit more insights into that and how that all works. How are we going? I'm hoping that I'm a little bit slower tonight in unpacking everything, and I know that I haven't given you much time, but feel free to work on this outside of the webinar and get in touch if you need any help. Okay, so all of this is well and good, but there's a few things I'd love for you to think about before you hit publish. So here's a bit of a checklist just to help keep you on track. Is it educating or providing value for your ideal client? Is it providing context to your authority? Is it problem solving? Is it sharing a plan or some sort of clear takeaway, food for thought, thought-provoking in a progressive way for your client? Is it relevant to your ideal client's challenges, frustrations, pain points? Is there a clear call to action for engagement? is your hook, so that's the first sentence that you post, or headline, is it scroll stopping? Does it make people want to stop and build enough curiosity? But just remember, you don't have to tick every box every single time. I think what you've learned over the last 2 webinars, you're going to be miles ahead, hopefully, than you were earlier this week, because you've got a really good plan and some actionable steps that you can take now. So I'm going to jump into and explain some social media platforms and how they work. So first up, YouTube. A lot of us probably use them to put individual RAMs, if you're using Auctions Plus, to put your individual RAM lots onto YouTube. You can also use it as longer form promotional content to help with more of an engaged audience. So these are people who really are bought into what you're doing and they want to watch the long form content. So this is probably more your warmer to hot audiences, as well as search engine optimization on your website. YouTube's a really good place to add a heap of keywords. So the more that you can sort of publish and keep your website updated and your YouTube channel, the more organically your brand will reach and rank on Google. So if you can post a video once a month, that's awesome. Even if you want to start a few months out from your selling season, great. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty to talk about, but there's also high pressure to deliver really good, high quality content. So just think quality over quantity. You don't have to be posting all the time, especially with YouTube, because the search engine will keep it up. Facebook, this is shareable. You can do some more paid advertising, so you can reach new regions. The networking in groups is really, really great. There's an awesome stud sheep group with heaps of people in there. That's a really great place to advertise to other studs. There's also hobby farmers, commercial producers, and if you just go onto Facebook and start searching under groups, you can really find a lot of people that are congregated in these groups. So we want to be posting clickable and shareable content. We really want to hopefully encourage people to comment or share on Facebook. So yeah, it's very similar to Instagram in frequency as well, posting 1 to 3 times a week. Instagram's very visual. They've gone more towards a lot of short videos. I'm not sure if a lot of you've heard, but TikTok is a platform that Instagram sort of stolen a few ideas from. So there's Reels, which I'll talk about shortly, but really good quality imagery, short video, interactive content is best on these platforms. And using a really good hashtag strategy as well. I'm not really talking about hashtags too much in this webinar. It's sort of a rabbit hole that I would have to go down another day, but posting some hashtags that are relevant to what your content is really good as well, just to show up on the news feeds. And we'll talk about how our algorithms work as well shortly. Twitter, so you've got that bite size, very timely, responsive, very conversational, high volume. So if you're wanting to use Twitter as a main platform, be on there every day, retweeting, commenting every day, because it's a really fast moving platform. There's a lot of farmers on there, so it's a really great place to get involved and just have a look around, see what you think if you're not already on there. Is anyone on Twitter who are here that are using it to promote their stud? Yeah. Can't get a handle on Twitter at all. I've actually converted a few people. I've had some people say, nope, don't like Twitter, can't get my head around it. I'm going to put my hand up and say that's me with TikTok. Speak of the devil, we'll get there soon. So LinkedIn, like I mentioned, really great for your corporates, business to business content. Yeah, it's sort of a professional networking space, and it's a culture where you can shamelessly brag about your achievements, your projects, your professional milestones. It's a great place to recruit talent as well. Not sure how many farmers or farm hands are on there, but there's quite a few industry professionals. So yeah, that's another platform to have a look at and explore as well. Try posting 1 to 2 times a week. And when I'm giving you these rough numbers, these are like bare minimum. If you can really keep up momentum with high quality content every day, go for it. But if you know your audience is probably going to get sick of hearing from you, then just have a bit of a balance. Commenting on other people's content's really great too, and reposting and resharing to build a bit more rapport and relationships with them. TikTok, got to be honest, I need to change my mindset around this platform. I just struggle with it. I see a lot of value with the young audience, and a lot of people are on there. So if you feel like you want to really target the younger audience, then and the next generation of farmers coming through, they really enjoy TikTok for entertainment. So enter with that in mind. The video editing inside of TikTok is really great. You can have a lot of fun. It's absolutely a space that I haven't been using enough and utilizing to the full potential, but it's definitely not going away. It's on the rise, and a lot of young people are using it. Anyone on TikTok and love it? Oh, perfect. Thanks, Ellie. TikTok is really great for what educational content? Awesome. I think I need to just start using it more then. Facebook and Instagram stories. So content, they are insightful, short, bite-sized pieces. You can really get people engaging in polls, tagging others, resharing, asking questions. I really love asking my audience, what do you want to see more of? So if you want to use it for a bit of market research, it can be really great to do that. It's more up close and personal, behind the scenes. It's raw, transparent. You can have a bit of fun with it as well. Try and use it every day if you can, or at least a few times in the week when you are posting across your other platforms. Sometimes posting a post and then providing a bit more behind the scenes insight to promote that post is really helpful for using your stories. Instagram, Facebook Reels, these are quite popular now to really go viral, to try and cast a wide net out. And it's certainly been copied from the TikTok style. But I feel like there's a shift with Instagram again with Reels, and they are rebalancing. They went really into Reels being quite popular to grab attention and connect with more people, but now they're sort of going back to a lot more imagery. It's an interesting space to watch. I have been following the CEO of Instagram and just trying to keep my finger on the pulse there. It's just a space that's evolving, like social media is evolving all the time. Again, this one's once to twice a week, or every second time you post just a photo. So you can use short videos, so 60 to 90 seconds, and try and utilize some of the content types that we spoke about before. What's the difference between posting versus stories? So posting is when you have put a photo on your feed. Stories are that quick disappearing 24 hours highlights sort of up the top of your app. So that's been adopted from like a Snapchat style integration, where Snapchat, you can post it and then it disappears, pretty much straight away, unless you put it on a highlight and then it's there for 24 hours. So I hope that explains that. Whereas Reels, they don't disappear. They're very similar to in-feed posting. So that's a few platforms explained. It's an evolving space. So it's a tricky one to sometimes keep up with, but that's what I try and do. Let's talk about the algorithm, and I'm going to be discussing essentially organic posting. And I know that there's a lot of questions around how do we beat the algorithm? How do we crack the code? How do we compete more successfully with other businesses in the same niche? So I'm going to show you a content flywheel with a bit more strategic insight into how the algorithm works in an organic, non-paid sense. So just publishing content without any paid expense. And it's obviously free apart from your time. So we start right at the top with your audience, and we did a bit of work around this already. So this is who you serve. It identifies who you want to reach online, and you need to know exactly who you are wanting to speak to so that you can really address them in your content. And then we're going to be publishing that relevant content that's really deeply aligned with them and relates back to their values and what resonates and educates and entertains or inspires them. And by publishing content that touches on those 5 key factors that we spoke about earlier, we can get the algorithm to then categorize your content. This is organically. So other users who have interacted with content on other people's pages that are similar in nature, this is how the traffic sources start to push that out in front of them. When you've got that information consistently and you're not just posting a whole heap of random content, this is a lot easier for the traffic sources to then boost the content back in front of your ideal client. So yeah, being consistent, being intentional with what you're posting, it really shows the algorithm what you want to be known for. And if someone is searching for or looking at content on the internet, your content is likely going to be included in that if it's done really well and it's very clear. So that's the importance of not posting random content. I know a lot of you are using your business accounts to just post about your business, so it's not a huge issue, but I'm talking if, for example, if I'm posting a lot of marketing content and then all of a sudden I start posting about cooking or something really random, it's just going to confuse the algorithm massively. So yeah, don't worry too much. Anything farming, ag related, stud stock related, it's fine. It's just try and keep within your niche as well. So that does come back to strategy and really knowing your ideal client, meaning that you can create and publish relevant content in order to position that so that your search engines and algorithms and categorization can push that content through the traffic sources back in front of your viewer. It's like a flywheel. So 5 key factors, just to recap. I know I keep going on about this, but this is really important to really nail in these key factors, because if you have a disconnect here, it's going to be really hard to be consistent. And just remember that information without action is just noise. So if you're sitting here in this webinars, you're just taking it in and you're not actually going to do something with this, are you just adding more noise to your life? So if you are keen to actually take some action and use some of the strategies and concepts from the last 2 webinars, give me a yes if you are on board in the chat. Let's check in as well. Awesome. Some yeses are coming through. Oh, that's great. Okay, so how confident do we feel at the moment? I know you haven't had a lot of time to work on your messaging, but how do we feel? Give me a rating. 1, you still feel like you've got a lot of work to do, through to 10, you think you feel more confident that it's going to hit the mark. Give me a rating. Where are we at compared to the start of last night's webinar? I know it's tricky for people who weren't there last night, so. Gosh, there's so many Tegan Buckleys on the chat tonight. Wow. 5, know where I want to go. Lots to do. Izzy, 8. A bit of work to do. That's all good, Linton. Yes. Lockie, 6. 2, lots of work to do. Awesome. Before we move on to the Q&A, I think Rachel has an evaluation form. I would love some feedback. Can you just tell us how we went, what you thought? It's really important so that we can ensure that we keep showing up to help you all out to be the best that you can be. So yeah, feel free to click on that form and fill that out before you jump off the webinar tonight. We're going to move into Q&A very soon. I know I've already got one up there. Awesome. Anyone who's sort of really low, I really invite you to get in touch to book a roadmap call with me, because I think there might be a little bit of coaching opportunities there to help you really unpack those factors. Joseph, so if we're being ourselves and transparent as a business, the algorithm should take care of itself in our favor. Yeah, that's essentially exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right, chuck some questions at me. We had a bit to go through. There's a lot to digest. Linton 5, Fiona 5, Mandy 6, Deb 2, lots of work to do. Deb, do you think that's because you haven't had a lot of time yet to work on, or are you still feeling a little bit unsure about the content?
If anyone wants to ask the question verbally, if you raise your hand, I'll be able to unmute you so you can ask Tegan verbally if that's easier.
Sounds great. Much quicker than typing.
It is. And there's just a question in the Q&A.
Thank you. Deb, not content, need to get the plan together. Yep, no worries at all. Thanks, Deb. Lauren, can you recommend an easy to use video editing program for longer form videos and cutting out short snippets for reels? Yeah, so Adobe Rush is a good one. The professional version of that is Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm an Adobe fan, so CapCut is a good mobile one. Canva you can use to edit videos. Headliner app, I'll put the Headliner app in here in the chat. Joseph, boosting post versus ads. Okay, so there's the boosting the post, and then there is behind the scene advanced ads. So that's when you can get really crafty with retargeting people who've visited your website, whereas boosting a post is simply clicking that boost button, choosing what audience, what region, how much you want to spend, when you want the ad to start and end, and then what kind of goal and outcome. So it might be visit a website, send a message, or call. You've got the call function as well. Lachlan, Tegan, is Adobe good for editing RAM videos, adding lot data and branding? Yeah. So Adobe Rush, Adobe Premiere Pro, Canva is really, really quite easy and user-friendly. You can create templates and graphics. So I'll punch these into the chat so you've got them. Adobe Premiere Pro is like the professional sort of option. Takes a bit to get used to. Once you've got used to it, it's really good. Adobe Rush. How can we come across as genuine and authentic to compete with increase in scammers? Are you talking about people that are trying to steal your identity on the internet, Deb? Like, I've seen a lot of accounts have scammers literally copy and steal the identity to try and scam people. I think maybe, yeah, okay, all right. I also wondered whether you didn't want to come across as too salesy either, but yeah. So there's the blue tick functions. You have to pay for that now as a subscription, Instagram and Twitter. That really helps with security and authenticity. I think I've caught up with all the questions.
Tegan, just while we're waiting for a few more to come in, I just thought I'd jump in and take this opportunity to thank both yourself and Rachel and Kirsty Anderson from AgVic for your time in preparing and organising and presenting these. I hope our sheep genetics clients have found them useful to continue to grow their business, particularly quite timely this time of year. Over the next few months, things were starting to ramp up with ram sales. So hopefully our clients have found it useful, and we're pretty keen to continue to provide these sort of things to help you as sheep genetics clients build businesses, and also our usual workshops and things to help drive genetic progress. So thank you, everyone, for your time and participation in this, and keep those questions coming in. But also thank you, Tegan, Rachel, and Kirsty.
Thank you so much. Really appreciated. And thank you for the opportunity, and for everyone for attending and taking the time out of your very busy lives to be here.
And if you do have any more ideas for sheep genetics in the evaluation, which would be great if you could all fill in, there is a section for suggestions on it. There is a box for further feedback, so you can put in suggestions for ideas that you would like. I'm sure sheep genetics would appreciate some ideas. I know we always appreciate ideas of things that could be run.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tanya, for your comment there. Really appreciate that. It is a juggle, and I know that I've put across a lot of concepts. Yeah, there's a lot to take in. A lot of even if you can implement one or two things that you've learnt over the last 2 nights, that's a step forward. Lauren, is MailChimp your recommended email management program? I personally use Wix for my website and email marketing because everything's just all in one platform. I have used ActiveCampaign and MailChimp in the past. I just recommend MailChimp for anyone starting out because it is free and user-friendly. And obviously private. So that's just why I kept referring to MailChimp. Thank you, Anna, very much for your feedback. Thank you, Lachlan, for that as well. Sorry, guys, about the weird name mix-up. Technology these days.
Tegan, I might tomorrow when I send out tonight's recording, it would be probably helpful if we have a list of all the websites and apps that you've mentioned.
Absolutely.
That would be useful.
Yep. I'll add that to the workbook. Yep. And I would like to provide a PDF of all the slides I've used as well, so you've got all the templates too.
Fantastic.
I'll send that through to you first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Is there a fee for Wix if you already use it for website hosting? Yep. So I have an add-on fee every month for my email marketing subscription because I prefer to just use that versus paying for something else and having to try and get my landing pages to sync up with automations. So I've got a lot of resources on my website that people go on and put their email address, and then automatically they'll get an email sent, and I don't have to manually do it. So I just prefer to use Wix for that reason, just to take a lot of the extra manual work out of it. And so that the person that needs that resource can get it immediately. Okay, so you used MailChimp previously, not tried Wix. Yeah, if you already use it for your hosting for your website, I absolutely encourage you to check out to see whether the email marketing components of that might be suitable for your business. Thank you, Deb, for your feedback. Hopefully all those evaluation forms are coming in. We really need that to help us with our value that we can continue to show up and add. So really appreciate that if you guys can do those evaluation forms for us before you leave. All right, we'll take one more question. Oh, there's one right here. How much do I have to pay to get someone to manage this for me? Yes, that old question. As in the whole thing, everything that I talked about. It's a lot of time, as you can appreciate. So I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure there are marketers out there who understand your industry that can offer really great packages. I am very careful not to use this as a major plug, but clearly I'm a business, so feel free to reach out if you want to chat. Yeah, I'm very careful though who I work with for conflict of interest reasons. However, I do have coaching programs to support clients so that I can help unpack a lot more for them to do their own unique and authentic marketing as well. So there's a fine line I have to step on being a specialist in the stud stock space, just to be completely transparent. I can't tell you how much. Yeah, sorry, it's not a very clear cut answer for you.
That's our last question.
Cool. All right.
To reiterate, Peter, and thank Tegan for a very informative 2 nights.
Thank you so much for being here and helping me. Thank you everyone for your feedback. And yeah, thank you, Rachel, so much for supporting me to be here. And thank you, Emma and Peter. Thank you everyone for being here. Cool. All right, over and out from us. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, see you later. Have a lovely evening. Bye.